Ground to the left side. Wagner waits for it to come down on a big hop. He'll throw to first in time for out number 3. Thurber, that pitch is by him, but underneath the legs of Weinrich, and on to second base goes Marty Carrena. The Diamonds will be looking for a double play to end this inning. As they 1-0 Sonoma. As McDonald comes to the plate, and that pitch is swung on and missed. Strike 3. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. The first pitch to Calderon from Thurber, and he hits this ball to left center field, and back goes the center fielder Hibernian. He can't get it. It's going to go all the way to the wall. Calderon around first on his way to second, and he will hold there with a double. Wagner makes the catch as he falls back. Oh my! He'll make the throw in time as
3 balls, strikes, 2 outs. The runner's going to get a jump.
Making them aware that they know that they are there and they're not allowed. Oh,
Strike swung on and missed. The throw down is in plenty of time to get him.
Come in here. This pitch for Wagner is hit to left field and is deep, and back goes Clark, and he's over to the wall, and it's gone.
Floater into short right field, and coming in to make the catch.
Go this ball, ground to the right side to Letty Statson. Throws to second for 1. Waits for a second to first. Did they make it? Yes, double play. Be a pickoff play. The throw to first, now on to second, and Pugh is out. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. 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 Pitch to Marty Grant is hit high and deep. Back to left field.
Way
back goes Metzger. He's at the wall. It's gone.
Gone. There it is. Yeah. All right.
And the pitch that hops up gets away. And J.J. Wagner going to scurry down to second base.
The high pop-up of a bunt, picked off by Frankins, lays his throw to second, and he could have had him maybe. Strikeout, and Clark gets tagged out. This pitch is ripped to the right side, and right ball down, just throws to first, double play. And Valdez says he's got it right in front of second base, but Garcia will take it up back to our shortstop, and he makes the catch. Lead to third, here's the pitch. Valdez hits this one down the left field line. It's going to be trouble if it stays fair, and it's fair. In comes Bautista to score. On his way to third is McKeon, just picking up the ball now in left field. Metzger, and on with a double. Up to the right side, Letty says he's got it. Valdez says he's got it, and he does. 1 out. The pitch from Hutchison hits this one to deep left field. Back to left fielder Clark. He's at the fence. He watches, he leaps, he can't get it. It's gone. Running on into the dugout because that's out number 3. Got a runner first field. 3-2 pitch. He hits it right back up the middle, and it's going to be picked up. No, it's going to go right by Yasuda into center field, and Bautista goes on to third. And looks like Yasuda running over because Bautista.
Up in the air on the hopper.
Hi there, I'm Scott McDonald here with Runs Hits Aaron, the Pittsburgh Diamonds pregame show featuring manager Aaron Miles. And Aaron, as usual, I think we'll start with a discussion about last night's game. Travis Blackley looked like the monster at the beginning of the game, and then he turned out to be kind of a hard luck pitcher. The defense failed him a little bit up here.
Yeah, he had an amazing start, 6 punch outs, and I mean, he pitched great all around, you know. Hey, they squared up 1 or 2 balls, you know, in 1 inning, and, you know, of course, there was a play that wasn't made. You know, we picked the guy off. We couldn't, you know, complete the play, and that hurt him. You know, we made an error here, we made an error there, and those things kind of, those ended up being the story of the day, because he pitched great. 6 hits, I think, 11 or something Ks, and no walks, and if he does that, well, you know, we're going to win, usually. So, you know, it's just one of those things where we didn't swing the bats well enough, and that was the story too.
He pitched a complete game and took the loss, and his arm must be in good shape. He's not weak or anything. That's good.
Well, you know, I asked him how he's feeling, and he doesn't ever want to come out of the game, and, you know, he's in shape, and I think he was throwing harder yesterday than he had in the past. His arm looked good. It was, you know, he's going to start twice this week, so, you know, maybe we'll see how he feels this next Sunday, but hopefully he can give us a similar outing, and maybe he won't go quite as far, throw quite as many pitches. He threw probably threw 110, and you know, the guy pitched great, and you know, we should have got him to win, and we didn't, and you know, we move on.
There were the defensive lapses in the game, and they all didn't produce actual errors, but that was something we didn't see in the first half. It was kind of concerning to people who just were used to the Diamonds pulling those plays off.
Well, you know, physical errors are going to happen. It's the mental ones that you don't want to make, and just the plays that should be made that need to be made. This is a very tough field to play right here. There's going to be some errors tonight. The field itself, the infield, is very bumpy, very tough. It slopes down. It's not a completely flat field. So it's a very tough field to play a clean ball game. I thought the ball game yesterday was fairly clean. You know, again, we had a couple plays. You know, Garcia made one error that ended up hurting us a little bit, and McKeon threw the ball kind of into the back of the runner, which should have been made. And one of the biggest plays was, you know, we picked the guy off at first and we couldn't complete the play. And all those kind of had factor in helping them score and helping them continue the inning. And ultimately we lost by 1 run, and you know, that kind of tells the story.
We've been discussing it more and more in the booth about Wes Wallace. He seems to be striking out a lot, and then he comes up and hits a double, and then he comes up and last night he drove an important run, and then he strikes out again. What's going on with that? Is that something you're noticing? Is there work being done on it, or is it even something of a concern?
Well, I would say that he's one of the new school players of today. Well, new school, what I'm saying is in baseball now, it is more accepted to strike out. Now, he's still striking out at a higher rate than we would like and that he would like, and you know, but he's going to strike out. That's something you take with a guy that has power like that. As long as he's walking, as long as he's hitting for power, those are the things you care about the most. And you know, in key situations, when that runner's on third and he needs to put the ball in play, he needs to get better. And he needs to figure out, you know, why he's striking out so much. But for the most part, you know, if he continues to do what he's doing, he's going to put up good numbers at the end of the year. And hopefully, you know, again, those tight situations where we need the ball put in play, he's going to get better.
Tonight, Michael Gunn goes for the Diamonds. He had a blister on his finger, missed a couple starts. That seemed to put him in a relief role for a while, but I assume he's all better.
Well, you know, he's pitched so great out of the bullpen, and, you know, part of me says, well, was he better there? But, you know, he's had a great start to the year, too, as a starter, and, you know, Whelan kind of struggled a little bit, and, you know, we had to make some room on the roster. We took Whelan off, and, you know, it was time to get Gunn back in the starting rotation and see where he can run with it. If he can run with it and pitch great, he'll stay there. And, you know, if not, we've got other options. But Michael Gunn's done a heck of a job in the bullpen, and he deserves to have this start tonight and run with it if he pitches well.
He has kind of the classic profile, if you will, of a reliever coming in. He throws the ball really hard, and you get it. You know, just need a couple outs, and you blow the ball past him, and you win the game. Is it?
Well, he's not a lefty specialist out of the pen. He's the guy that can get righties out, he can get lefties out, he can get anybody out, and that strong arm profiles as a starter too. So, you know, he's really just a very good pitcher with a very good arm and a good slider, a strikeout pitcher that can do it all. And you know, we'll see. I mean, is he? The unknown is the unknown. He could be that guy who, come the 5th inning, seems to struggle, and maybe he's better off in the pen. But we'll see. I feel he's great as a starter, and I feel we're going to win tonight with him.
The Admirals made changes over the last part of the first half, obviously, hoping to do better in the second half. They finished in last place last time. Around their camp, talking to their people, they are happy with the changes that have been made, and they're hoping maybe you awoke a sleeping giant last night. Is that something you're concerned about?
Well, I think they did get better. You know, they look at the kid Reyes. They had him in the pen. He pitched last night. He pitched great. So it's, you know, again, evaluating who you have in that first half and seeing where maybe this guy fits better in this role, this guy fits better in that role. You know, and you know, getting rid of a couple guys and bringing in some new ones. Kiriakos played great for them at shortstop. He's a guy that's played for us in the past. He's played for San Rafael. And you know, they have the pieces. They can hit. You know, we've had some tough games with them back and forth. There's no doubt that these guys can hit, and I think PJ's done a great job of addressing some of their issues and their needs, and they're going to be better, and it's going to be a fight.
I haven't seen your lineup for tonight yet. Are there any changes? Or?
No changes in the personnel, just the lineup. Garcia's going back at the top of the lineup. Marty's going to move down, kind of maybe give some more depth to that into that lineup. And of course, BJ Gwynn's going to be batting third. So, and we're going to put Wallace in between Calderon and Goog. So it's a lineup you've seen before, definitely. And hopefully, it feels a little bit deeper down at the end of the lineup. But you know, there could be some moving, interchangeable parts here, some moving up and down the lineup till we figure out what we feels best moving forward. And you know, Sonoma's a kind of a screwy place with the shadows, so we may get creative when we go there. But for the most part, these guys are going to have to do their best to, you know, grind out their bats. And you know, if there is some movement, hopefully it won't be too much where they're not comfortable.
Creative would be bunting. I mean, how do you deal with the shadows?
Well, you know, I don't know. Maybe I'll just sign a bunch of lefties or let Joe Lewis hit. The lefties seem to be the ones that can see the ball in Sonoma the best. But you know, that's just some things you do with the lineup. You know, this is a great place to hit right here in Vallejo. The lights seem a little dimmer this year, but a great place to hit, and you know, most of these guys should feel like, you know, they have a chance to fatten up their averages when they come here.
Did that did the lights play a role in that? There was a foul ball over here that was up in the air. It seemed like forever, and then when it came down, the third baseman couldn't make the play. Is that something that the lights have an impact on?
Yes, in this league we have a lot of light poles that aren't as high as what you would have in a major league stadium, or you know, that third baseman was B.J. Gwynn. He's a very accomplished player. He's been in a lot of good ballparks. The guy who hit the ball is also Nick Akins, somebody who has, you know, major league power. And he hit that ball about as high as it could be hit, probably twice as high as the light pole. So, you know, you don't really see it. It gets closer to you. You start to see it a little bit better. Then you realize you're not quite under it. And there's the wind factor, too, the fence. Very tough play. You know, you hope you make them, but you know they're not going to be made every time.
All right. Well, thank you, Matt, Coach. Good luck tonight.
All right.
That's it for Runs, Hits, Aaron. We'll be right back for the start of tonight's game after this.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Wilson Park in Vallejo as the Diamonds get set to take on the Vallejo Admirals. The Diamonds losing game number 1 of the series, the beginning of the 2017 second half of the Pacific Association. Anthony Schultz along with Scott McDonald. And Scott, good ball game last night. Diamonds unfortunately coming up just 1 run short.
Yeah, for reasons that usually aren't familiar to Diamond fans. They had sketchy defense, and that was a problem throughout the game. They allowed 2 unearned runs, and on a night where Travis Blackley was throwing, like, for a while, it looked like he would never give up a hit. It was unbelievable. I mean, he would not allow anyone to hit the ball. He had 6 straight strikeouts to start the game, and so there were a lot of questions as to whether it would even be a game. The Diamonds took a 2-0 lead, but then they had a rundown that went awry. They had some balls that were thrown into center field, and they had an error on Jose Garcia, who usually is perfect. So it was just an odd way for them to lose a game. And I asked Aaron, I said, well, the Admiral people seem very happy that they won, and maybe that you awoke the sleeping giant. And because they had a miserable first half, and now they're in first place 1-0, and the Diamonds are keeping pace with how they started the first half. They went 0-3, as you recall. And so any win this weekend will put them ahead of their pace last half. So there's still hope for improvement, I guess.
Certainly hope for improvement. Mike Gunn gets the start tonight, but Travis Blackley, 11 strikeouts last night, came out for the 8th. Both of us are a little bit surprised about that. Struck out a couple of more guys in that 8th inning, so he looked pretty strong. But it was the Admirals, came up with some big hits, got a pretty good start from Pete Reyes. Malik Jones, Demetrius Banks, and our old buddy Sammy Gravasio.
Yes.
Bullpen was perfect last night, a recipe for victory for Vallejo.
Gravasio allowed a run. But
that's right, he did. He did give up the 4th run.
Yeah, allowed a run, and so the Diamonds were able, they once again, they scored that run, as we talked about the sacrifice fly that ended the rally.
Yeah.
Because Garcia scored from third on a sacrifice fly to pull within 1 run, but then you have nobody on and 2 outs, and that's not giving anybody a lot of hope. Gravasio was his usual self, and not as long as usual. Pretending to throw the ball behind his back to keep the runner on first base. It was funny. But the Diamonds have just to keep playing baseball. It's 39 games, and it's not as long as a usual baseball game or the stretch of a baseball season, which seems they take a while. You don't panic. Well, 39 games is a sprint in baseball terms, and the Diamonds need to win games. And Michael Gunn tonight is coming back after his blister problem, put him on the disabled list, but he's had a couple of great relief appearances, and they really feel like he is set to be the pitcher they expected him to be when they made him the opening day starter way back in June 2nd. And now he's going to be the second day starter here in the second half, and we'll see how he's doing.
We'll see how that blister is going to hold up. And I know a lot of people might be hearing a blister, really? Okay, these guys get a boo-boo. Well, it's a serious thing. I mean, there are major leaguers that have a blister, and you can't grip the ball properly.
Absolutely.
And if you can't grip the ball properly, you can't throw strikes. And sometimes when a pitcher has an injury of sort, they'll actually change their motion.
Right.
They'll do something different, and that causes them to hurt themselves even more.
Injury.
So it's actually a serious thing, and we hope that blister issue aside, he'll be able to come back and pitch the rest of the season and do well.
Well, Gunn says when he grips the ball wrong, he gets the blister. So he was blaming himself for the blister, but once you got it, you can't do anything. The pain is it's painful. You can't throw the way you're supposed to. So that's all done. The blister is gone, or he would not be starting tonight because he has had relief appearances. And even if it wasn't completely healed, those relief appearances would have made it reappear, and it has not. So he is there. You can see the Diamonds. If you're joining us on BayAreaSports.tv, the Diamonds are having their pregame conversations. You can see Bautista having a conversation with Vinny Galletti and talking about what's the best way to hit the ball, or what's the best place to get good food in Vallejo? You never know.
Or who's providing the crew meal tonight, the team
exactly.
meal.
There's Jose Garcia next to him with his it used to be called a donut. Is that a sleeve? Is that what you would call that?
It's not the donut anymore. Yeah,
it used to be a donut. Although, and I know I mentioned this a long time ago in the first half of the season. There's Wes Wallace in the background. The whole Diamond team is interesting. I mean, if you don't get a chance to see the Diamonds in this kind of a situation, to see him conversing like that's Calderon lifting his hat up a little bit. And down the Diamonds dugout, 31, of course, is Aaron Miles. And he's having a conversation there with that's Chad Heiberger to his right. Back in the back is Ron Perkins, the pitching coach. I don't know who he's talking to at the moment, but he's got something to say. His arm's going around.
Speaking a lot with his hands.
Yeah.
I was wondering, did you get a chance to talk to Aaron about the hit by pitch yesterday that had to be explained to the home plate umpire, Ron Adams?
I did not, and that's my bad because I also want to talk. I still got the Sonoma thing on my list that I haven't talked to him about. And Aaron is a great interview and a great guy, and he's open about all kinds of stuff. The other managers, in my experience, are not. And things just happen in the world, and there's an explanation for them, and so why not discuss them? Is my opinion. But and Aaron is a great guy, and he'll give us the lowdown on what happened. I just need to bring it up. That's Wes Wallace, one of the guys he's talking to. He just said something funny, but
because I just remember his expression when he was leaving that conversation with home plate umpire Ron Adams, and remember that run ended up scoring. That was the wasn't it Durkee who ended up at first base and then got caught in the rundown and then was not thrown out?
Right.
Ended up scoring.
Two things.
But when
it was Fernacci who called the hit by pitch.
Fernacci, that's right. And then when Aaron left the conversation with Ron Adams, he kind of looked upward with that "you've got to be kidding me" look on your face. And what it tells me is like, if the batter has to tell you that he was hit by a pitch, that's not good enough for you to say that he was hit by a pitch.
We had that problem with the play in right field where the play was ruled a base hit for the Diamonds, and the right fielders complained to the ump and said, "I caught that ball," and they changed the call. Remember, that was just a huge. That was just hard, impossible to believe.
So Aaron has happened
twice. And the umpires have changed the call because someone told them. There's P.J. Phillips and Aaron Miles at home plate exchanging the lineups, and we were just talking to. We just showed you Miles And as he was walking away, he said something funny. The person laughing was Mike Gunn, and Mike Gunn. So Mike Gunn is, I guess, ready to go tonight. There's not much about this field to discuss as far as playing rules and ground rules that are specific to Wilson Field. What everyone says about this place is that there are strange holes and the ball will bounce here and there. Here comes the battery mates, Alex McKeon and Michael Gunn. So you have to be ready for a bad hop, or you're going to get bad hops. You can't do anything about it. But
I think Wes Wallace got something like that in center field yesterday when he looked like he overran the ball, but it may have taken a hop and kind of exit stage left on him.
And you go, oh my God! So and maybe what you do, I don't know how you judge this. You may be less aggressive about coming up on a ball like that. Play it, more timidly and see if it's going to make a bad hop. But of course, you want to make a play. You want to keep people from advancing an extra base, so you try to be aggressive on that type of thing. So that's the double-edged sword you have to deal with. Aaron is now going over his lineups, a lineup that he has changed again. The lineup has been, some players have been not so much the actual people in the lineup, but their batting order, etc. You'll see tonight Garcia is back hitting number 1, and he had played most of the season as the leadoff hitter. And then recently he's been batting the number 9 position. I'm not sure if he says he's also trying to get some more meat in the bottom of the batting order, and that's why he has put some people down at the bottom, like Bautista is lower in the order than he was. Hold on a second. Let me get to tonight's lineup. There's Bautista and Marty Carreno down in the lower part of the batting order. And so he's got bigger bats down there than he has, and he's put Wes Wallace, who has been all over the batting order, between Galletti and Calderon, and I think that's just go lefty, righty, lefty. I think it's kind of the thought there. But B.J. Gwynn apparently has been permanently inked in at the number 3 position. and the rest of it, and he said it's always subject to change. He talks about finding where everybody should be on an almost permanent basis. I don't think that ever happens. I guess it does in some places, but he's got players that are somewhat interchangeable, and he very much believes in that left-right, the pitcher-batter situation, the lefty pitcher face. You want to put a right-hander against a lefty pitcher because the left, all the balls that move are going to be easier for a batter from the opposite side of the plate to handle, and that's why you believe in a opposite hitter to the dominant hand of the pitcher, but you can't always do that. You have some players that are going to be good. He did say he is considering having all left-handers in Sonoma because of the shadow situation. He firmly believes that left-handers see the ball a lot better than the right-handers because of the background in Sonoma, which is a big besides the shadows between home plate and the mound, there is a tree behind the pitching mound way out in center field that has white flowers, and that just adds to the problem, especially for right-handers and catching the ball.
Not much of a batter's eye going on out there.
That's awful, and so the left-handers have more of a green tree behind them, and he says that's a big deal and helps them pick up the ball a lot better. Now we're ready for our national anthem. We had our national anthem, as you heard. Boy, she belted out that third stanza, man. she was singing right along, and all of a sudden, boom, she let go. All right. We are about ready to go. The Admirals are out on the field. They are in their home white uniforms. They are not in their bright yellow jerseys, and the Diamonds are in their black jerseys, so we do not have last night's very colorful game. We had bright yellow Admirals and bright orange Diamonds. Tonight we have a traditional home white uniform for Vallejo, and the Pittsburgh Diamonds traditional black with orange letters, sharp-looking uniform. There's a look at Wilson Field here in Vallejo, where the Diamonds will be playing for only the second time this season. This is their first trip to Vallejo, even though they have completed the first half. Sonoma Stompers, champions of that first half, and they won last night over San Rafael. So Vallejo and Sonoma are tied for first, and the Diamonds and the Pacifics are tied for second. Or third, actually. Tonight, Dave Dinelli will go for Vallejo. He is on the mound there, getting his warm-up tosses in. A tall right-handed pitcher. And he will face a newly ensconced in the leadoff position, Jose Garcia, followed by Otomar Valdez. And that is, those are the two positions in the batting order that used to be mired in cement there. But then Garcia left and went to the ninth position in the batting order. Valdez moving up to number one, so they were still batting one after the other. But now Garcia is back at number one, and he is headed to home plate. And headed to the microphone to bring us the play-by-play is the voice of the Diamonds, Tony Schultz.
All right, Scotty, thank you very much. Garcia, Valdez, B.J. Gwynn, Vinny Galletti, Wallace, Calderon, Marta Corena, Bautista, McKeon, the lineup for your Pittsburgh Diamonds, and they will face right-hander David Dinelli, who is set, and the first pitch is in there, a strike. 6:47, our official start time. Mark Beller, the home plate umpire. Danny Speck in the field tonight. Akins, Clark, and Williams left to right in the outfield for the Admirals. And the next pitch to Garcia, he looks to bunt, has to pull back, takes inside, and the count 1-1. Fernacci, Kiriakos, Gomez, Rodriguez, third to first in the infield. Blank behind the plate tonight. He was the DH last night for the aforementioned Dave Dinelli. Enters his fourth season with the Admirals after making 17 starts a year ago. Big right-hander comes back, 1-1, and inside again. And it's 2 balls and 1 strike to Jose Garcia.
We started 17 minutes late, Tony. That means 17 extra minutes of us, but there's no extra charge.
Whoa. Kind of reminds me of that scene in an Airplane when the guys keeps talking.
Oh, and people are hanging themselves
in there for a strike. And it's
welcome to the pregame show.
The one guy's committing Harry Carey. The other guy's soaking himself in gasoline. Oh, boy. Okay, let's get serious here, folks. This is serious business. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Garcia, right-handed batter, and the pitch, swing, and a chopper up the middle. This could be some trouble. Barehanded throws, not in time. What a play by Gomez.
What a nice effort.
But he had to wait so long, and you know Garcia gets down the line fast. So a good-looking play, but Garcia's got himself an infield hit to lead off the ball game.
Yeah.
So here's Otomar Valdez and Aaron Miles. There's always, I don't even know what happened here, but Aaron has something to talk about with the home plate umpire, Mark Beller. In any event, we'll go ahead and give you the numbers on Dave Dinelli for the season. And 1-2, Scott, 6.49 ERA, 7 games, all of the starts, 34 2/3 innings pitched. He struck out 29. That's not a bad number there. The number that kind of pops out, though, is 23 walks and 40 hits in 34 2/3. And, of course, the ERA is high. And if you can point to one specific problem the Admirals had, and they've had a few. They've been struggling last year through the first half this year,
Yes.
but starting pitching hasn't been their strong suit.
Yeah, it's been well, when you finished last, you got a lot of problems. You got problems.
You usually do.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
so maybe you got one or two things that you're not worried about, but generally there are a number of places you need to fill holes. I have no idea what that discussion was about, but then when they started to break up, the ump had more to say, and Aaron came out and they had more conversations. So it was something significant, but here we go.
Aaron's a chatty guy, and he he gets a conversation in here early in the ball game with the umpire. Pinch hitting at third base for Valdez. His first pitch to him is outside for a ball, and they count 1 ball and no strikes. So Dinelli's last outing, a loss against the Stompers back on July the 7th. Admirals lost that one 5-1. Dinelli lasted just 3 2/3, giving up 2 earned runs. Right-hander, the long look. Here's the pitch, and that's way outside and high. 2 balls and no strikes. So a good start to the Diamonds inning here as we get the ball game underway. And Scott mentioned to you, the Stompers just picked up right where they left off, a win last night against San Rafael. Carranza not in the lineup last night. Here's the pitch, and that is in there, a strike, and they count 2-1. I had a chance to talk to Daniel Baptista when we were leaving the ballpark on Sunday in Sonoma, and I asked him about Carranza, how come he's not in the lineup, and he said, hey, he's got a little foot problem. He'll be ready to go for the opener. But not in the lineup yesterday.
Although, well, that would be a big deal if it was a big injury.
There goes the runner. The 2-1 pitch is outside. The throwdown is, well, it was in time, but it gets away. Gomez will go chase it out into short right field. It's going to be a stolen base for Garcia. So how about that for some small ball? An infield base hit and a stolen base.
Here's a replay.
Take a look at it here on BayAreaSports.tv.
Sometimes the ball looks like it's there in time because that throw is up the first base side, so it looks like it's going to get there, but Garcia ran right past it.
So Garcia in scoring position for his double play buddy, Otomar Valdez. Diamonds looking to draw first blood here as we're just getting underway. Here in Wilson Park in Vallejo, game number 2 of the second half of the 2017 campaign for Diamonds baseball. Otomar waits, and the pitch to him. He checks his swing, held up, and he takes ball 4. And the Diamonds have the first 2 aboard, and we talked about the high walk total for Dinelli, but that whip average for him exceedingly high, walks and hits to innings pitched.
He needs to be careful now because if there ever were 2 that really should pull off a double steal, these are the 2, although Gwynn comes in here as a left-handed batter, but that hurts you a little bit trying to steal third.
Here's B.J. Gwynn now in that very coveted number 3 spot in the lineup that has seen several players in there over the last few weeks. This one way outside and high, and the count 1 ball and no strikes. That wasn't even close.
Yeah, that was a good job by the catcher to leap out of his position and catch that ball because it wasn't just high; it was high and outside, and he had to move to get there. Mike Blank with a good play.
Saved him and the Admirals a couple of bases with that grab. B.J. Gwynn, the Diamonds are hoping to see him get going. Takes that one low for a ball. And B.J.
Gwynn last night had a double, but he had a sacrifice fly, but he walked, so he was 1 for 3.
The Diamonds want to see more of that 2016 B.J. Gwynn that was hitting well over 400 in his 20 or so games with the Diamonds, and this one is on the outside corner, a strike.
I think it was taken all the way with a 2-0 count after walking Valdez. He was going to see, can this guy throw a strike? And the answer is yes.
Otomar not being held on by Rodriguez over there at first base, so he should get a pretty good secondary lead. Diamonds threatening here in the first. Here's the pitch. Swing and a chopper right side and foul. Rodriguez will field that one near the first base coaching box. And the count goes 2-2 with Vinny Galletti waiting on deck.
The good thing about having a left-hander in this situation is, obviously, if they pull the ball, most hitters tend to pull the ball, he'll get the runners, even if he grounds out, he'll get the runners over to second and third with, at that point, one out. Right here, now he's up here with a 2-2 count and nobody out. So there's a chance for a lot of runs if Gwynn can do something with this pitch.
2 balls, 2 strikes to BJ. Left-handed batter waits. Dinelli will look back at the runner at second. Now he's set. Now he fires. Ground ball. Rodriguez has got it. His only play is going to be to first. So Gwynn is out number 1, but the runners both move up to second and third, and here comes Vinny Galletti. So Gwynn is out 3 unassisted. So the Admirals do get the out, but not a terrible exchange for the Diamonds as they get the productive out and they pick up a couple extra bases here.
And
now,
the big G-man is coming up. Up.
Like Phillips was out there having a conversation with the home plate umpire, Mark Beller, and now here comes Aaron Miles to have another conversation.
What I'm going to do, I'm going to go find out what this is about, and I'll be right back.
And these guys are having a talk show here while we're supposed to be playing the game. And I am not sure exactly what the holdup is, but I guess I need to remind them that this is a school night. We got to move this along. Or actually, it's not a school night. It's summertime, isn't it? It looks like Aaron Miles is holding the lineup card. And I don't know why they would be holding the lineup card unless somebody batted out of order, but we had Garcia, Valdez, Gwynn, and now Galletti, so nobody out of order as far as I know, and now I guess we're ready to come back and start. Now Galletti steps back in, and we're ready to resume. Runners at second and third, 1 down. An infield hit for Garcia. He stole the base. Valdez walked. Gwynn hit into the 3 unassisted put out, moving the runners up, and Galletti a chance to pick up a couple of RBIs here in the opening frame. Swing and a little foul, and I believe that got him on the foot. It did. Vinny will kind of shake that off. And we get the Adams family theme, and I'm not exactly sure why. When we were up in Sonoma, they had just so many sound effects, and some of them were extremely appropriate. And then other times they're just trying to entertain the fans. And Mark Beller's going to clean off home plate. Giving Vinny some time to shake off that foot ailment. I think they got him off his back foot, his left foot, but he appears to be no worse for wear, and he's ready to go again. No balls, 1 strike to Galletti. And shortstop Kiriakos shades him way over towards second base, playing behind the runner Odomar. Swing and a little chopper. This will get a run home. Gomez has got it, fires over to first, makes the play. So a good play by Vladimir Gomez to get out number 2, but on the play, Jose Garcia scores the first run of the game, and the Diamonds take the lead here at 1-0. So Galletti will pick up the RBI. The out goes 4-3.
So here's the situation. Miles says that the first baseman, Ryan Rodriguez, was actually listed in their lineup as a designated hitter. And now that they have him in the field, they should be playing National League Baseball, and the pitcher should have to hit because they gave up the DH spot. And so there's a conversation back and forth about this. I guess that's what Phillips was responding to. But and I think that's why it happened immediately, because they waited for the first pitch of the game.
Yeah.
And then he complained about it.
A little gamesmanship by Aaron Miles, and that would get Graylin Durkee, a good hitter, out of the lineup. Here's the pitch, and that ball is on the outside corner, a strike.
But what was interesting is that no one on the bench knew what was going on. I had to talk to Aaron himself, and I really hate it when they talk to managers and coaches during the game. I just think it's interfering with the game, and I'm talking about other broadcasters. But he was kind enough to let me know what the situation was.
And this one just inside, but when it takes a little time like that, and both the managers come out and talk it over, it's like, well, we probably should be alerted to what's happening, and however briefly they can take care of it.
Oh, and Aaron was great about it. It was just.
So here's Wes Wallace trying to pick up a 2-out RBI here in the pitch, and that is on the outside corner, a strike, and they count 2-2. So Wes with those good numbers in the first half, but he's been bit with the strikeout bug, and I know Aaron had something to say about that to you, Scott.
Yeah, Aaron, he says Wes, as Aaron puts it, he is the new breed of baseball player, and that is that they just are not concerned about strikeouts as people used to be in the older school days.
This one popped up right side. Is it going to stay playable? Blank coming back to the screen. Dinelli coming back to the screen. And that one will be out of play.
Can't blame that one on the lights.
Well, it used to be one of those situations that if you struck out 100 times in a seat, that was a lot.
Right.
And now 150, 100, it's not that much, I mean, that's just kind of a normal kind of thing.
And so it's just not something that if they're hitting otherwise is okay. They are not concerned about the number of strikeouts. Now, he has 49 strikeouts on the year, Wes Wallace. He got 2 last night. But then, to be fair, he comes up and he gets a huge RBI in the same game. So that would be the point of those who are not worried about strikeouts is what else am I doing?
Chopper to third. Fernacci has it, fires across in time for the out. And the side is retired, but the Diamonds come up with one. They leave one, and after a half an inning here from Wilson Park in Vallejo, it's the Diamonds 1 and the Admirals coming up.
VallejoAdmirals.com/shop to buy merchandise online. Of course, we have our beautiful merchandise stand right around the corner from the Marina Vista Dental Grandstand here at Wilson Park. And they got capes down there as well. Left over from our superhero day. There are capes. If you track down foul balls, cages, you name it. Get in the Admirals Olympics with Chris Owens.
All right, bottom of the first we go, and the Diamonds lead it 1-0. And it'll be Brandon Williams, the old friend of the Diamonds, hitting leadoff. He's in right field. David Kiriakis, another old buddy of the Diamonds, he bats second. He's at short. Blanks the catcher. Aikens in left. Ryan Rodriguez, the first baseman. Chevy Clark is in center. Graylin Durkee, the DH, maybe. We'll see how that works out. Chris Fernacci at third base. Vladimir Gomez is the second baseman. And this lineup will take on Diamond lefty Mike Gunn. Comes in with a record of 1-1, a .493 earned run average, 34 2/3 innings pitched, 42 strikeouts, ground ball. Odomar's got it, charging, fires, gets his man. And one pitch, one out here in the first as Brandon Williams is taken care of, and that'll bring up David Kiriakos.
Good day for Odemar Valdez in the sense that his counterpart, Vladimir Gomez, made a great play in the first inning, charging at a high bouncy ball, grabbed it barehanded and threw. He didn't have a chance to get Garcia. But now Valdez on the first batter for the Admirals gets a nice play. He gets to charge in and pick it up low off the ground and throw him out at first base.
Yeah, good play by Odomar. Last start for Gunn, July the 14th at Sonoma. He did not get a decision in that game, but the Diamonds did win 2-0. First pitch to the switch hitting Kiriakos is in there for a strike, and the count 0-1. Just a 1 1/3 in that ball game for Mike Gunn, who did see some relief action. Next pitch misses, 1 ball and 1 strike. And the Diamonds just can only hope they that blister situation is completely behind their left-hander.
If it's not, it should show up pretty quickly. Probably first with a grimace on the face.
So a little chopper on an excuse-me swing. Gunn's got it. He'll flip over to Galletti at first. And just a handful of pitches in. 3 pitches in, 2 outs already. And here comes Mike Blank.
So in between innings, the home plate umpire was over talking to Phillips, the manager of the Admirals. Of course, we have no idea what exactly was being said, but we do know that Aaron Miles has told the umpires that the first baseman for the Admirals was listed as a designated hitter when they exchanged lineups. And since he's now in the field, that should eliminate the designated hitter position, and the Admirals should be forced to send their pitcher up to hit for the rest of the game. And we'll see how that plays out.
First pitch is outside to Blank. We're in a different number tonight. But that would be a big, big deal if you can get Graylin Durkee out of the lineup and have Dinelli taking those at-bats instead.
Durkee is listed as the 7th place hitter in the lineup. This is the 3rd place hitter up now, so I guess that will be the moment of truth when, when the Admirals hit that point in the lineup.
One ball, no strikes to Blank. Lefty-righty matchup here. The Diamonds play him straight away all over the field, and this one high and outside.
That sounded like a Mike Gunn pitch when it landed in that catcher's mitt. Pow!
Good pop on the fastball. Nice little breeze coming through right now. Did get a little chilly last night when the sun went down. Here's the pitch swing, and that one hit to a right field, but that was going to drift foul. That was down near the Diamonds dugout, or Diamonds bullpen rather.
You should get a lot of those with Gunn pitching with his fastball. You hit the ball maybe, but you hit it late like that and get it foul away from you.
Diamonds and Admirals, a 1-run ball game last night as Sammy Gervasio ended up getting the save in that game. There's strike 2. Got a typical Diamonds game. They struggled a bit with their defense last night, allowing a couple of extra runs to score, and it really cost them. This one is up high, and count 3 balls and 2 strikes now to Blank, batting here with 2 outs and nobody aboard. It was certainly nice. I'm sure the Diamonds very happy with the performance by Blackley, picking up those 11 strikeouts.
Yeah, as Miles said, if you pitch like that most days, you're going to win the ball game. And so,
payoff pitch, swung on and fouled back, and the ball was well inside, and looked like that was probably ball 4. But because of the 2-strike situation, Blank doesn't want to take any chances, and he's protecting the plate, and he does just foul that one back. Same time tomorrow night to complete the ball game. Diamonds hoping that'll be the rubber match of the 3-game series. Here's another payoff pitch, swing. That one's hit hard left side.
Wasn't late on that one.
Well, foul. Like able to square that one up, but a bit early. And he's doing another 3-2 pitch. And the Stompers a win last night in their opener to start the second half, and we would firmly expect San Rafael, with the talent they have, to play a lot better in the second half. Swinging another hard hit ball foul left side, and now the battle going on here between Blank and Mike Gunn.
Gunn got the first 2 hitters very quickly. I think a total of 3 or 4 pitches, and now he's having a long time here with Mike Blank.
I was going to say something like cute, like gun, fire, and blanks, but I couldn't really make it work.
That's
I was hoping you would come up with something better, Scott.
you're hoping I could come up with the usual bad line. Now you got my mind and going like crazy trying to figure it out.
And so far, Blank's been shooting blanks
Like-
here with the
so
foul balls.
McDonald is
but
shooting blanks.
Anyway. Another payoff pitch, swinging another foul, and we keep it going. Blank's still up there. Nick Akins and his 8 home runs waiting on deck, and the Admirals
Gunn wants him
certainly
to
like
walk
to
the
get
blank.
their home run hitter up there with a runner on base. I seem to remember, I mean, it's a long way to go to make it to that, I think it was it Joey Cora? A million years ago with the Dodgers, had like a 20-pitch at bat and finished it with a home run.
Well, well, that makes it all worthwhile.
Here's the pitch, and he takes low and outside, ball 4. So a walk for Mike Blank, and that was a very good at bat as he fouled off some very tough pitches.
It was a good at bat, and he wasn't even sure that was a ball when it came down there, and he waited for the umpire's call before he moved out of that batter's box. But there he is at first base.
So he's aboard. Nick Akins now steps in. And Nick Akins, one of the power guys of this lineup. Tough night last night as he went 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts. As Blackley got him 3 times last night.
He hit that ball that went up into the stratosphere, and B.J. Gwynn tried to catch in foul territory.
And that one is in there for a strike.
And as Miles was explaining, the lights here are lower than you might get, say, at a Major League Stadium, and the ball actually goes up and into the darkness. And then it comes back down into the atmosphere, so to speak, and comes into the lights, and you begin to emerges, and you begin to see where it is, but you lose it for a while.
Popped up foul. That'll get over the screen, and that'll play. And then, of course, when it comes down, it's kind of not in the same spot that it was when it went up.
Exactly, because the wind has its time to play with it and all that stuff. So B.J. Gwynn could not make that catch, and he, you look like you don't know what you're doing, but you just don't have an opportunity to follow the baseball.
And now Nick Akins, he's going to get some new batting gloves or something here, or discard his batting gloves. Don't often see guys hit without those anymore these days.
Did he wear it out finally or something?
Maybe sometimes they have a tendency to bunch up and he gives you blisters.
Makes it sound like baseball players today are a tender group.
Doesn't exactly sound like John Wayne at Iwo Jima, does it?
No, it doesn't.
In any event, the 0-2 pitch coming up. And now time is stopped here again.
That was the most active timeout call I've ever seen an umpire make. He called timeout and ran out from behind the catcher. The umpire did.
Here's the 0-2 pitch, and that bounces up there low. And the count 1 ball and 2 strikes. Nick Akins kind of employs that little bat waggle. Reminds me of a little bit of Gary Sheffield, for those of you who might remember Gary. And had held that bat out in front and then would almost point the bat at the pitcher. Yeah. Here's the pitch, and that's inside for a ball, and it's 2-2. So Gunn, after getting the first 2 out, Williams and Kiriakos on ground balls, got ahead of Mike Blank, got a good at bat from Mike, fouled off several tough pitches and battled his way back to a walk. And now it's 2-2 on Nick Akins. Here's the pitch, and that one is up high for a ball. 3 balls and 2 strikes. So now, if nothing else, Blank will get a jump off of first base.
3 straight balls from Gunn, and so Akins going to be watching this one closely before he swings, I bet, because obviously 2 strikes, you have to protect the plate, but Gunn walked the last batter, and now he seems to not be able to find the strike zone here.
Payoff pitch. There goes the runner. Swing and a chopper foul at home plate. So another battle between the pitcher and the hitter here. And right now, this game not moving what you'd say swiftly along.
Aikens came in here hitting 270.
Here we go, Admirals fans, full count, 2 out, runner on. Let's make some noise here. Let's get this run here in the first. Let's tie this thing up.
There's Tim Fitzgerald, one of the announcers for the Admirals on the PA tonight, getting everybody fired up. Payoff pitch. There goes the runner. This one is a call, strike 3, and the
Holy
inning
moly.
is over. Mark Beller took his time there. Didn't think he was going to make the ring-up call, but he does. So the Admirals don't score. They leave a runner. And after one full here from Wilson Park in Vallejo, it's the Diamonds 1 and the Admirals nothing.
Of the city of Vallejo. Buy or sell your property with Tim Heimstra. You get superior service from his outstanding support staff. Call 707-827-9118 or visit riverrealty.com. And if you're on the go, folks, can't make it to the Admirals games, listen on.
All right, to the top of the second we go, and here comes J.Q. Calderon, followed by Javier Marta Correa, and then Gerald Bautista, the first three to face Admirals right-hander Doug Donnelly here as we begin the third. Diamonds lead it 1-0. There's an infield hit, a stolen base, and a run scored from Jose Garcia. Galletti picked up the RBI with the ground out, and that's all so far here in the ball game.
Shades of last night.
Just getting underway, and the pitch to Calderon outside for a ball.
Diamonds took an early lead last night. Got a run in that second inning and couldn't hold on.
There's a Galletti double and then a Bautista triple. Got that run home. Here's the pitch, swing and a foul. And the count, a ball and a strike. So J.Q. Calderon. And you're looking at this Diamonds lineup with Bautista there as well. And you'd have to figure that lineup, Scott, at different times of the second half should be putting together a lot of games where they can score a lot of runs. Here's a pitch outside for a ball. The count 2-1.
When you have Galletti, Wallace, and Calderon hitting in order, you've got Galletti at 410, Wallace at 318, and Calderon at 303.
Not bad. And then, of course, throw in Garcia and Valdez. This one's fouled away. And B.J. Gwynn you've added to the lineup, and a guy who can certainly swing the bat. But it's always about who's going to have that good year for you this year. Who's
Right.
going to have that good second half for you this second half.
And do you hit when they got runners in scoring position, which is why a huge statistic is runs batted in, and Vinny Galletti is leading the league in that.
2-2 pitch way outside, ball 3. 3 balls and 2 strikes. So we've seen Dinelli be a bit wild here at times. He did walk Valdez in the first. He was able to get out of it with just the 1 run scored. This pitch is way outside for a ball 4. So a walk to start the inning here for Calderon, and that'll bring up Marta Carrena. You talk about guys piling up a lot of strikeouts. Kind of guy, it's okay if you're hitting a certain average or if you're hitting a lot of home runs. Kind of reminds me of Jock Peterson of the Dodgers when he's striking out 175 something times a year, but he's hitting 25 home runs a year. And it's kind of okay, but when those home runs start to dry up and the strikeouts don't, they're looking to put somebody else in the lineup. Here's the pitch, and it is inside for a ball.
Well, so much else can happen. If you've got runners on base, when you hit the ball, you can move people along, errors can take place. If you're striking out, you're not getting you get nothing. You just sit down. You get a lot of air.
But in the old days, as you're talking about, Scott, that was the thing they really tried to avoid. Here's the pitch, and that's way up high at inside, and they count 2 balls and no strikes. But some other things have changed too, or I guess with the sabermetrics in baseball, and they're all the different ways they can measure statistics. So many more hitters are trying to get the ball in the air now where they weren't in the past. They said, well, if a ball hits the ground, your chance of getting out are so much greater than if you put the ball in the air.
Really?
Here's the pitch, and that is inside, in there for a strike, and it's 2-1. I was watching Ken Burns' baseball series, and a long time ago, they thought it was the weight of the bat that made the difference as far as when it made contact with the ball and how far the ball would go. And then they realized a little later on, no, it was the speed of the bat that made
a lighter
the ball
bat
go
is
farther.
do you good.
Swing and a foul there. And they count 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Well, I talked about that. Wall Street Journal reported on a study that batters who use those donuts and have extra weight on the bat as they warm up don't hit as well as batters who just warm up with the regular bat.
It's funny because it always made it seem made the bat feel a little bit lighter, and you felt like you had more control.
More bat speed.
More bat speed, but just more.
Yeah.
I could get it through the zone quicker. You know.
For some reason, they're not quite sure why it doesn't work.
This one fouled off to the right side, and that will fall harmlessly and bounce up over the fence and into the Diamond bullpen.
I don't think they get a treat for returning it.
No. But they do get the post-game meal.
And they do get a little spotlight from Bay Area Sports.tv.
A little airtime for the bullpen tonight. All right, Marta Carrena standing in 2 balls, 2 strikes. Calderon being held on by Rodriguez at first. Dinelli kicks, fires a 2-2 swing. It sounded like he broke his bat to third, to second for 1, back to first. This one's wide and gets away. So they're going to get the lead runner. They will not get the back end of this.
He gets
and this
to go
ball
to second.
goes out of play, and Marta Carrena is going to be awarded second base. So that will be an error on Gomez with the throw.
I think it went in the dugout there and was forever lost to time.
So Marta Carrena out on the 5-4 fielder's choice. But because of the error, Marta Carrena bounces into the fielder's choice 5-4, eliminating Calderon. And the error will have Marta Carrena at second base. And General Bautista will have a chance to drive in a run.
That's an odd way to go about it, but it's almost as if Marty Carrena's sacrificed. Now there's a runner at second and 1 out.
That's pretty much the exchange right there. There's a good look at Marty down at second base. And Bautista, who's had his moments with the Diamonds, has not played quite as well, certainly not hit quite as well as he did with the Admirals, but did come up with a RBI triple last night. Here's the pitch, and that is inside for a ball, and the count 1-0.
He got his diamond batting average last night up to 200 with that triple. And one of the odd things I noticed today, that if you look at the Admirals batting list of their top hitters, he's still listed as number 2 on the team. But he was traded.
Right-handed batter waits. Dinelli, a couple of looks back at Marta Corena. And this one way up high and inside.
It just never looks comfortable when that ball's headed towards their helmet.
Be quick to get out of the way, and that's such a difficult thing about hitting. And you want to stay in there so you can cover the outside part of the plate, but you better be ready to get out away from the one off the inside part of the plate.
And how much does that ball curve sometimes? And then the next time it doesn't curve, and it's headed straight for your head.
2-0 pitch, swing and a foul at home plate, and the count 2-1. If you go way back in the old days when they could scuff, practically chew on, get a bottle cap and scrape, do all sorts of different things to the ball, and they would leave the ball in play once it got dirty and dirtier, unless it was actually fouled out of play, where it would stay in play. And of course, I want to say it was way back in 1920, but it finally happened. Somebody was killed in the batter's box, and they finally went to a situation where we're going to keep a nice, fresh, white baseball in play, so the batter has a better chance to see it, so he can get out of the way.
Plus, the protective gear was certainly not what it was.
No, it was just a cap.
Yeah.
Helmets didn't come along till much, much later. 1 on, 1 out, 2-1 pitch, and that's Wayne. That got a piece of the jersey on Bautista, and he is going to be hit by a pitch, and he'll trot on down to first base now. So runners at first and second with 1 out, and here comes Alex McKeon.
That seemed like only a matter of time. The way those pitches have been going.
So we talked about Doug Dinelli and the walks and hits for innings pitched being quite high, along with that ERA over 6. And kind of the same old tune here to start this ball game. Here's McKeon being given a lot of room down the left field line by Akins. And the pitch, that's way outside for a ball. Akins, the left fielder, playing way off the line and rather shallow.
McKeon hitting .220 coming in here.
But just the fact that he's in the lineup almost every day is a marvel.
He gets beaten up.
We're talking about baseball players getting a boo-boo and not being able to play. Boy, this guy just, he takes a beating and just keeps going out there. Now he's tired of waiting for Dinelli, and he asks for time, and Mark Beller grants him that time.
Alex McKeon throwback to the back in the day.
Some shadows creeping over the infield, but just a few. Shadows in left field going over to center field, and the right field in bright sunshine, and this one way outside for a ball. Count 2 balls and no strikes, and now looks like P.J. Phillips wants to have a word with his right-hander. And the battery mate will go out there as well. And there's been more conversation than baseball so far.
We have a lot of conversation. We've had a conversation between Aaron Miles and the ump, and then the ump talking to Phillips, and then back to Miles, and then in between innings, the ump over talking to the Admirals bench. Now we got Phillips talking to the Admirals.
I'm wondering if you and I should just stop talking and play some baseball, Scott.
Let's
go play catch.
I'll put on a glove. You put on a bat, and
let's play catch. The lights have come on here, and it seems like we've got a long time before those things are going to take effect.
So there's a pat on the back for the Admirals pitcher, and says, "Go get him."
All right, Dinelli does have 1 out here in the inning. You got Marta Correa to bounce into the fielder's choice, but that's sandwiched around a walk and a hit by pitch. And the pitch, and that's in there for a strike, and the count 2-1. Good fastball by Dinelli that time.
Diamonds with 2 on and 1 out in the makings of something else again. Let's see if they can develop it. They didn't quite do it in the first inning, even though they got a run.
They really kind of scratched out a run and playing a little small ball in that first inning. Kean, the right-hander, waits and fouls a 2-1 pitch back, and it's out of play, and the count goes 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Don't forget, kids, foul balls. If you take them up to concessions, you get a free snack. You take them to the merchandise stand, you get an Admiral superhero cape.
So the foul ball's very valuable around here for the little kids.
They won't let us get that because they've blocked off. They've got extra fencing, so the ball will not come to the press box.
Tell you, they do pretty good with the foul balls. Back when I was a kid in Little League, it was just one of those crummy snow cones.
Nothing wrong with a snow cone. I
No.
thought if I had a
A
snow
little
cone or a
colored
cape choice,
flavoring
I
over
would pick the
ice.
snow cone.
And that hits Alex McKeon, and he's going to trot on down to first base. And they are loaded, and the Diamonds do not have a hit here in the inning.
Now batting for Pittsburgh, shortstop number 1.
That is so frustrating and such a symptom of, and I'm saying this because we've watched the Diamonds do it time and time again, where the team gets runs in an inning and never gets a hit. It's just they just hand it to them on a silver platter. And right now, the Diamonds are getting that silver platter handed to them.
Looking down the way here, nothing going on in the Admiral bullpen yet, but Dinelli in a whole lot of trouble. Bases loaded, just 1 out, and here's Garcia back in his usual number 1 spot, and he takes high for a ball, 1 ball and no strikes. Bases full of Diamonds here, and Garcia trying to make Dinelli pay for his wildness here in the second. 1-0 pitch. Swing and a miss in the count. 1 ball and 1 strike.
I'm not sure what that means, but there it is, the Adams family theme. Garcia. Well, go ahead.
I hear that theme, and I'm kind of waiting for Pugsley to blow something up.
I look for Cousin It to come out of the out of the table.
All right, let's go for our Adams family characters. Let's go.
Garcia comes in here. He was hitting 285. He's got a single already.
Single, stole a base, and scored in the first. Trying to make some bigger noise here. Swinging a foul back to the screen. He looked like he was on that one. Just did miss.
He won't be there now, but their first baseman, Rodriguez, is way in on the grass. Like he's expecting some kind of bunt from Garcia with 1 out and runners at first and second, and I just don't think that is something that will happen, and he's still up there. And now they're 2 strikes.
Interesting positioning there. You would think he would be playing behind the runner. And now
Yeah,
he's
you can
a couple
see that
steps
in that
on the
shot on
grass.
Bay Area Sports TV. See that first baseman, he's up on the grass there. That's just an unusual position.
That one's down low for a ball. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Yeah, in this situation, bases loaded, he would usually be playing behind the runner. Now, the third baseman, you would think sometimes would be a little closer in, thinking that you might be bunting for a base hit in this situation. But
With 2 strikes, you'd think even then,
he would
especially
usually
be
would
relaxed.
take it off with 2
Yeah.
strikes, right? And look at the lead McKeon's getting off of first base, but he better be careful with that. Isn't a pitch, and that's going to be low for a ball, and it's 3-2. So Dinelli has been unable to find the strike zone with any consistency here. He's walked 1, hit 2, and the only out that he's recorded was the 5-4 fielder's choice off the bat of Marta Corena.
I guess the idea here is that they're playing in on the corners and a double lay depth in the middle. They just don't want to allow a run to score, I guess is the idea.
Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed, strike 3, and the high fastball. And that strikes out Garcia. So he is out number 2, and that'll bring up Otomar Valdez. That was a huge strikeout for Doug Dinelli. He went up the strike zone, up the ladder to get that one, and he gets that very important second out without the runners moving up.
Man makes some noise for him out there, huh?
So if he can find a way to take care of Valdez here, even though it's been a rocky inning for the Admiral right-hander, he can certainly breathe a sigh of relief along with the rest of his teammates. There's a good look at Odemar. Diamonds need some two-out magic here. Runners away from their respective bases, and the pitch swing, and this one lifted left side and foul. And Akins will give it a look. Fornacci will give it a look, but nobody can get there, and the count 0-1 to Odemar Valdez, who walked back in the first inning. Game number 2 of this 2017 second half of the season for the Diamonds. Diamonds finishing that first half, looking up at Sonoma. Did make it quite exciting there down toward the end. Scott and I had a chance to do some very exciting games, including a couple against Sonoma at their place. 0-1 pitch, swing and a miss, strike 2. Good fastball by Dinelli, and he's ahead in the count, no balls and 2 strikes. And of course, the one I'll probably remember the most is the 3-run home run walk-off for J.J. Wagner in that mix.
And Wagner, welcome back to the team today, taken off the inactive list, and he is now on the active roster. Old walk-off Wagner. He's not in the lineup tonight, but he may. Who knows if he might get a chance to play.
No balls and 2 strikes. Here's the pitch, way up high and outside. Ball 1-1-2.
If you haven't had a chance to see that play, it is worth the time to go to the Diamonds website, diamondsproball.com, and just click on walk-off home run or Wagner walk-off or whatever. You can't miss it. It's on the home page. Just click on it, and it is just a sight to see.
Very exciting moment in that first half of the Diamonds. The 1-2 pitch, swinging. That's a hard hit ball. That could be trouble. That's going to be extra bases down the right field line. Marta Carrena scores. Here comes Batista to score. McKeon will score. Odemar streaking into third without a throw. It's a 3 RBI triple with 2 outs. And just like that, the Diamonds lead it 4-0.
Now batting for Pittsburgh, designated hitter number 12, Wynn.
That is called a timely hit. Bases clearing triple by Odemar Valdez, and the Diamonds lead it 4-0. My goodness, what a hit. Right down the right field line, and there was nobody over there. It took forever to catch up with that baseball.
And boy, how close that was. The Diamonds load the bases without getting a hit, and then Dinelli is 1 strike away from getting out of the inning as this pitch is in there for a strike to B.J. Gwynn. He's 1 strike away from getting out of the inning, and then Odemar makes him pay as he clears the bases as he triples down the right field line. So here's B.J. Gwynn. He was out 3 unassisted in the first inning. Swinging a ground ball to second. Tough hop, and that is going to get away from Gomez. He can't handle that. Looked like it was going to be a routine bounce out. Odemar is going to score. It's 5-0, and I'm sure that will be an error on the second baseman. So
That
no
is
RBI on the play, and here comes Galletti.
That is a tough call because I think that took one of those errant bounces again because it looked like it was right at him, and then the ball looked to me like it bounced to the left. But they've called it an error, so Gwynno's on first base no matter the call.
So the Diamonds have tallied again, and now they've opened up the lead to 5-0, and here's Galletti. Picked up another RBI, and that's outside for a ball in that first.
The Diamonds have had big leads on the Admirals before.
Yeah, we've seen this act too many times to
relax.
think this is just going to walk away with this one. And not to mention that, it's only the top of the second inning. Pitch to Galletti, and this one way up high for a ball. Just one of those innings that was kind of teetering either way. Diamonds were close to getting nothing, and they end up putting up a 4 spot here.
It's an example of playing with fire. You can't play with fire too long until it finally burns you because at some point, someone's going to get hit.
2-0 pitch is in there for a strike count, 2-1. But Dinelli kind of put himself in that fire with a walk and a couple of hit by pitch.
Yeah, Valdez's hit was the first hit of the inning.
And as so far,
And
but the only hit of the inning. 2-1 pitch to Galletti, and here it is. And that's an off-speed pitch or a breaking ball that comes inside. And the count goes to 3 balls and 1 strike. So a rough second inning here for Doug Dinelli. And Odomar, with 2 outs, able to make the Admirals pay with that bases clearing triple. Here's the pitch, and that is outside, ball 4. And Galletti's got himself a 2-out walk. Gwynn will trot on down to second base, and that'll bring up Wes Wallace. So for the Admirals, it's the inning that just won't end.
Diamonds have batted around now, and Wallace is up here. He did not strike out last inning. He grounded out, but he's up in another chance for the Diamonds to get more runs.
And as Scott mentioned, the Admirals have been able to get off the deck against the Diamonds, who've had big leads on them in the first half. That's a breaking ball in there for a strike. And that's strike 1 to Wes Wallace.
Diamonds beat the Admirals 8 out of 12 games played in Pittsburgh this last first half of the season. First game in Vallejo last night, and the Admirals want to try to even the score, apparently. They took last night's game.
Wes waits, the strike 1 pitch, outside for a ball, and it's 1-1. So now that Dinelli has had his problems finding the strike zone, the Diamonds not that eager to swing. They're going to be much more picky looking at those pitches, and that does extend a ball game. Next one, and that one's way inside. 2 balls and a strike.
One of the things that Aaron said, that you can judge someone if they're striking out a lot. How are they doing? And that is, are they still walking? And that is, are they still deciding the pitch is something to swing at instead of just swinging away at everything that comes at the plate?
Wallace waits. Here's the 2-1. Swing. That ball's hammered left side and deep. Hooking foul, and it is going to be a foul ball.
There is a building back there with a window facing the field, and I thought that ball might hit that window.
Yeah, Wes crushed that one. There was no doubt about it that it was going to leave the park. The only question was fair or foul, and it did have a hook on it when it left the bat, and it turns out to be to foul by quite a bit, but Wallace put a charge into that one, and they count 2 balls and 2 strikes. And the next one to West, swinging a foul back. So Wes Wallace battling Doug Dinelli here, 4 in for the Diamonds. A lot of free passes for the Diamonds, but Odomar Valdez able to cash 3 of them in with a triple down the right field line. And then he scored on a ball that looked like Gomez was going to be able to field off the bat of B.J. Gwynn. Couldn't come up with it. Swinging another foul straight back to the screen this time. The count stays at 2-2.
We've seen a number of these already tonight, these battles between the pitchers and the batters, with 2 strikes on the batter, fouling off pitches that they may not want, and staying alive for yet another opportunity.
Yeah, Mike Blank did that in the first inning with 2 outs. Ended up working out a walk after fouling off several tough pitches. Good battle with him and Mike Gunn, and the Vallejo bullpen has gotten going now. Here's the pitch. That one's way outside. Looked like some sort of a breaking ball that time that just started outside, stayed there. And they count 3 balls and 2 strikes now to Wes Wallace. So the runners from second and first, B.J. Gwynn and Vinny Galletti, will get a jump off their bases.
Well, I got to go check this again because
here's the 3-2 pitch. There go the runners, swinging a ground ball to third. That is going to be off the glove, collected, and throws him out. Fornacci, what a play. Mishandled it a little bit off the tough hop, but stayed with it and ends up getting the put out that ends the inning. Nice play by Fornacci as you look at it again here on Bay Area Sports TV. And let me tell you, For those of you fans listening on Mixler, that was not an easy play. Took kind of a funny hop for Chris, but he was able to stay with it and make the play, and the inning finally comes to an end. The Diamonds, however, score 4. They leave 2. And at the end of 1.5, it's the Diamonds 5 and the Admirals nothing. And then we'll see about Graylin Durkee, the DH.
We are very excited for that moment to come. But first, we have to clear up some Adams family trivia that I blew. Cousin It did not come out of the box with a hand. Cousin It was the furry thing that ran around. Thing came out of the box. Thing was the hand that came out of the box, and that's what I was talking about. But anyway,
for all of you fans over 50 that remember that,
Durkee is batting third in this inning.
This one gets away, and first pitch to Ryan Rodriguez is ball 1. Now, I shouldn't say that over 50 because with all those television stations that run all those old shows, plenty of people, younger people, get a chance to see.
Right on. And there was they made a movie of it that I think 3 people saw.
I saw the first one. What's her name played the lead, the little girl, and she was fantastic.
Oh, really?
It was way up high and inside one ball. No, Tuesday. Wednesday. Her name was Wednesday?
Yeah, something like that.
It was a day. I know that.
And she played what lead?
And she's a famous actress now. I can't think of her name. Swing and a miss for Ryan Rodriguez.
And Ryan Rodriguez is the
Tim Fitzgerald is good. Yeah, Christina Ricci played the role, and she was absolutely deadpan perfect in that.
Rodriguez is the focus of the issue at the moment.
Oh, he is?
No, he did not play in the Adams family.
We got a ball game coming on here. Hold on a second.
But he was listed, apparently, according to Aaron Miles, he was listed on the handover of the lineups at home plate. And this is why that stuff is important. And Miles looks at it and says, he says Rodriguez was listed as a designated hitter and then took the field and played first base.
2-2 pitch, tried to check his swing, and he strikes out. And it's a legitimate issue for the Diamonds and Aaron Miles. And
he says if that's the situation and he has come in and played in the field, then the DH position has been wiped out in this game because the DH position, as we learned earlier this year, is not a permanent position. Once if you have someone come in and play who plays that position, then you're playing Major League Baseball. I mean National League Baseball. Now we got Durkee in the on-deck circle. He's warming up. If he comes up, I think we're going to see an outraged Aaron Miles because he will be saying that the pitcher should be hitting.
Way inside that time to Chevy Clark, and he just did get out of the way of that Mike Gunn fastball in the count 1-0.
Now, is it possible that Durkee could pinch hit for the pitcher, and Eli Garcia has been warming up in the bullpen for the Admirals, and then they would bring him in to pitch the next inning?
You would think, but they still the pitcher would still have to. They would still have to have the pitcher spot.
He would still have to hit next time. That would be a pitcher spot to hit. But
so you'd have to remove him for another pinch hitter.
And then they could pinch hit for Garcia next time if he lasts that long. That is a possibility.
Boy, that's getting confusing. Let's talk about the Adams family. Here's the pitch, and that's outside for a ball. 3 balls and no strikes, but it's certainly, a legitimate issue for the Diamonds. And I mean, if you can get rid of Durkee, a guy that can swing the bat like that, and have pitchers possibly taking some of those at bats, you have to go for it.
Now, here's the other problem. If Durkee was listed at first base and he didn't play, what does that mean? Is he out of the lineup?
In there for a strike. That would be like giving just a completely incorrect lineup. Swung on it, missed, strike 2, and the count 3-2 to Chevy Clark. So Rodriguez, the second strikeout of the game for Dinelli. And the 3-2 pitch is a called strike 3. 3 straight strikeouts now for Mike Gunn.
Seattle, Washington, your Avery Green RBI machine, designated hitter number 40, Graylin Durkee.
So here's Graylin. So whatever Aaron was having some trouble with, apparently the home plate umpire, Mark Beller, does not agree. Durkee's going to bat in his typical spot here as the DH in that 7th spot. And he stands up there now with nobody aboard and 2 down. And the pitch from Gunn, and that is going to be in there for a strike, and the count 0-1. Next pitch to Graylin, and that one just stays outside just by a bit. And the count goes 1-1. Gunn staked to a 5-0 lead now. Throws this one, and that one's hit on the air. Center field, Wallace coming in. Garcia going out. It'll be Wes Wallace in short center field to make the catch. It's a 1-2-3 inning for Mike Gunn. We are through 2. Diamonds 5, Admirals nothing.
Hot dog eating contest on National Hot Dog Day here at Wilson Park. I want to give a big thank you to the front room. They feed the teams on Wednesdays. They have a full-service cocktail bar, a cozy fireplace, live music, and a beautiful view. Traditional fine.
All right, 3rd inning here as we go to the top of the 3rd frame. J.Q. Calderon, the Diamonds bat around in that last half inning, and in that 2nd inning rather, and they put up 4 runs to take a 5-run lead. So here's Calderon, who got the party started with a walk, and he leads off the 3rd inning against Dave Dinelli, and the first pitch to him is swing and a ground ball. right side and hops foul. Did it stay fair? It did stay fair. Almost took an exit stage right on Rodriguez, and he almost waited too long to pick up that ball.
And well, that was another one of those bounces. That
It was.
completely errant bounce. And you cannot. How do you watch this? Watch it hit the ground, and then you can't. You can quite see it, but and it looks like Aaron Miles lost his argument, because the only thing that might, if he had won the argument, it's possible maybe Durkee was pinch hitting and they'd have to bring in a new hit pitcher. But nope, we've got Denali out there, and so the umpire did not side with Aaron Miles, and the Admirals apparently their lineup passed muster.
Aaron has not gotten the umpires to side with him much at all this year. Here's a strike to Marta Carrena. We've seen a couple of plays where Aaron has had some argument going, and, well, those arguments, at least to this point, have been futile.
Usually you don't win an argument with the umpire.
No, you surely don't.
I think Joe Torre with a bad play at third base.
Unfortunately, though, with a couple of the arguments that Aaron had were that the other players were saying, I caught the ball or was hit by a pitch, and they convinced the umpire, which you never see. And Aaron's counter-argument to that is not gone very well. 2-strike pitch to Marta Carrena. Here it is. Swung on up the middle. That is going to be a base hit into center field. So Marta Carrena's got himself a hit, and he's aboard now for Bautista. So here's Gerald Bautista and Tim Fitzgerald, the public address announcer, telling us that Gerald is the beer batter. So if he strikes out, it's $1 off beers. The crowd's anxiously awaiting a strikeout here. A thirsty crowd awaits. Here's the pitch, and that one is low for a ball. And the count 1-0. So Calderon bounces out 3 unassisted. Nice play over there by the first baseman Rodriguez.
Short time with the Diamonds has struck out a little more than 1 out of 4 times, so that's a pretty good chance for the crowd.
Bautista hit by a pitch in that second inning. Pitch to him, swing and a chopper, and from the deep shortstop position over to first, and in time. Nice play by Kyriakos. Boy, that ball hung up in the air a long time, and Kyriakos able to come down with that and right himself very quickly and throw out Bautista. That was a very tough play for out number 1, as Bautista is out 6-3.
We have seen those high bounding balls more here than we've seen anywhere else all season. I don't know if it's because the ground is extra hard, but they take some high hops.
That one had a big kangaroo hop, and the Admirals very fortunate to be able to get an out on that play. Here's the pitch, and that is on the outside corner to McKeon, and that's strike 1. So Denali's got 2 outs here. Got Marta Carrena aboard at second base, and now McKeon, who was hit by a pitch his first time, trying to pick up another 2-out run here for Pittsburgh. And the pitch, swing, this one to shortstop. Kyriakos has got it, fires over to first in time for the out. And the Diamonds get a base hit for Marta Carrena. They get him to second, but no farther. And after 2.5 innings here from Vallejo, it's 5-0 in favor of Pittsburgh.
Municipal line until we buy your ticket. Basically, whoever wins this Saks race, Saks hot dog at Spring Road.
at the bottom of the third for the Admirals from Walnut Creek, California. Third baseman number 11, Chris Fornacci.
All right, let's go to the bottom of the third for Nachi, Vladimir Gomez, and then back to the top of the order for Brandon Williams. So the 8, 9, and 1 hitters going against Mike Gunn here. So far, so good for the Diamonds. They lead it 5-0. But as Scott and I have talked about, we have seen this act before. So a long way to go.
Chris was apparently last in line for batting helmets because his batting helmet is a different color than the rest of the team.
Pitch to him, and that is in there, a strike.
He got this light blue, and everyone else has a dark blue.
We don't have a whole lot of batting helmets with logos on them. This one way outside for a ball. Count 1 ball and 1 strike. Diamonds 5, Admirals nothing.
That is a definite gift for Mike Gunn. You know, you got to keep your eye on the plate. And
this one cued off the end of the bat. Hops over the first base bag. That's fair. Grabbed by the Vinny Galletti over there, and he steps on the bag, and Chris Fornacci is out 3 unassisted.
And everyone will tell you when you got a 5-0 lead, you got to throw strikes. That's all you got to do, and that's why when we have seen this happen over and over again, it's been the pitchers not throwing strikes, walking people, and then one hit can put them back in the game.
So here's Vlad Gomez. Nobody aboard, 1 out. Gomez gets a chance here and trying to turn this over to the top of the order and Brandon Williams. And the pitch to him is outside for a ball. And Gomez looked like the Admirals were going to get out of that second inning, trailing just 4-0. And had a ball hit to him with a runner at third, couldn't handle it. And this one is in there for a strike. He was charged with an error, allowing that 5th run to score. Trying to make up for that miscue. We look at P.J. Phillips over there at third base, swinging a foul straight back. And the count goes to 1-2. Well, Mike Gunn in that situation, we just want to forget that it's 5-0. You just go out there and throw strikes.
Right.
Continue to pitch your game. And, you know, we've seen in this league, not just between these two teams, but in this league, it's 5 runs is just not a whole lot sometimes. That one bounces up there, and the count 2-2.
You know, well, baseball is different in some ways. I think in other sports, you say, I'm going to go out there like it's nothing. But it's not nothing. It's not nothing. And there is a difference between, all right, if we're down, if it's a tie ball game, you don't want to put a runner on. You might pick around the strike zone a little bit. But when it's 5-0 and there's nobody on and you can just throw a strike.
This one way up high for a ball, and it's 3-2. Well, you certainly should feel more comfortable about challenging the guy with power.
Right. Let's go for
with a big lead. Here's the 3-2 pitch, swung on, fouled off right side, and that's out of play. Good looking shot there on Bay Area Sports TV. Another 3-2 pitch to Gomez. Here he comes. And that's high and away, and that is a walk to Vlad. So he's aboard with 1 out. And that'll bring up the Diamonds' old buddy, Brandon Williams.
Now batting for the Admirals, right fielder number 38, Brandon Williams.
Brandon Williams had spent 2015 campaign with the Diamonds. Hit just .220 last year, did Brandon. But in 2015 with Pitt, hit .311 in 50 games. Here's the pitch to him, and that's in there for a strike. And the count, no balls and 1 strike. The Admirals trying to make some noise here in the third, trailing by 5. Looking over at Gomez at first base. Now comes to the plate. And the pitch low for a ball. 1 ball and 1 strike. So the Diamonds the beneficiary of a walk, couple of hit by pitch in that second inning. And then Odemar Valdez able to cash it in with a 3-run triple with 2 outs. Here's the pitch. That one's hit hard, left field. Going back is Marta Carrena. He's there and he makes the catch. So Brandon Williams hits the ball right on the screws. But that is pretty much an atom ball. And he is out number 2.
Yeah, he got all of that one, but right at Javier Marticarena, who didn't really have to move at all to make that catch. Gomez at first base has 5 steals. He was caught stealing twice. And it probably figures he would just be standing there watching at this point. Let's see.
Yeah, this early in the game, down by 5, though. You hate to run yourself into outs. Here's Kiriakos who slams this one into right field. Jaku Calderon going over and he makes the catch. So after getting a runner to first base, the Admirals hit a couple of balls hard but have nothing to show for it. And after 3 full, it's the Diamonds 5 and the Admirals nothing. All right, as we go to the top of the 4th, all smiles for the Diamonds, at least so far. They lead it by a score of 5-0, and for more play-by-play, here's Scott McDonald.
Thank you, Tony, and the Diamonds are going to be at the top of the order here with Jose Garcia, followed by Odemar Valdez and DJ Gwynn as they try to make good on this 5-0 lead they have here for the first 3 innings. The Diamonds started the first half of the season with 3 straight losses, so if they can grab any win here in Vallejo to start the second half, then they will be ahead of themselves as far as the pace stays set for the first half of the season. Dave Donnelly bounces the first pitch up to Garcia, about a foot shy of the home plate platter, and that's ball 1, 1-0.
Infield hit, run scored, stolen base for Garcia, and then he struck out in the second. So he's been busy so far.
Donnelly's been his own worst enemy here with the walks and hits by pitches. That pitch is high for a ball. It's 2-0 to Garcia. In the second inning, he gave up 4 runs and only 1 double. I mean, 1 hit, a bases clearing triple by Odemar Valdez with 3 runners on. That's a big hit, but it was the only hit. And the Diamonds lead at 5-0. The pitch to Garcia is a strike, and it's 2-1.
And that hit came with 2 outs and 2 strikes.
Yeah, he was just about out of a disastrous inning, and then boom, Valdez lined it down the right field line just fair, and the right fielder had forever to go as that ball continued to curve towards the fence. This was ball 3 to Garcia, and now he is in danger of walking. Mr. Triple himself is in the on-deck circle.
Now, that was really a pivotal part of the ball game so far, and the Diamonds look like they may get nothing. They end up getting 4.
The pitch to Garcia, he swings on 3-1. The ball bounced to the third baseman. I said, good short pickup, and throws him out. Fernacci came charging in and took that ball on a short hop and threw out Garcia. That was not an easy play, but he made it. And you got to hurry when Jose's running down that first base path, and he got there in time.
Boy, Fernacci on a couple of plays at third base. That one that took the tough hop that kind of kicked off his glove, he stayed with it nicely to get the put out. And that one, charging, and you have to make that short hop. And that's a do-or-die play because if you get any sort of a bobble, Jose Garcia is going to beat it out to first base.
That's right. And that play, that big hop that I had, he basically, all he could do is knock that ball down. But he kept it from going into the outfield where it would cause all kinds of problems. And then he actually got the runner out. Here's Valdez. He takes a ball, and it's 1 ball and no strikes.
Plays made or plays not made.
Yep.
Sometimes it takes 1 or 2 of them, and that makes a huge difference in a ball game.
Last night, the Diamonds had a rundown situation between first and second. They could not get the out. Here's the pitch to Valdez, and he lips it to the left side. Over comes the left fielder, Akins. Does he have a play? No, he can't get there. And so it's going to fall harmlessly, except for the fact that it's a strike, and it's 1-1.
Boy, that ball wasn't fouled by a whole lot. I thought Akins was kind of trotting over there. I thought that if he had been on the run a little bit harder, that he might have had a chance to get that ball. Maybe he didn't read it off the bat as well as he could have. Something.
He might have been over there. I think it had a ways to go. He'd been awfully fast. He is fast, but there's a pitch to Valdez, 1-1, and this grounded to the right side to the second baseman Gomez, who picks it up, and Valdez drops the ball at first base. Rodriguez could not hold on to that throw, which was right there in his glove, and it is going to be an error on the first baseman, and the Diamonds are going to have a runner at first.
Boy, Gomez stays with this ball nicely, goes to his left, and actually that ball took another funny hop, and he was able to stay with it, reaching down and gloving that ball. He made the throw over there, and then the first baseman, Rodriguez, just could not hold on. E3.
It was away from the runner. It was, about belt high. I don't know what the problem was, but Rodriguez is now holding Valdez on at first, and he's always a threat to go. B.J. Gwynn comes to the plate with 1 out. 5-0. Pittsburgh is leading here in the top of the 4th inning. The pitch to Gwynn is a strike, and it's 0-1. Gwynn has gotten put up by the first baseman and unassisted, and then in the second inning, he reached on a Gomez error, which I thought was kind of a tough call because that took a funny hop on Gomez, but that was the official call. There goes Valdez, and here comes Gwynn with a big swing, and he has a high pop-up to the left side. It's going to be Akins coming in from left field to make the catch, and Valdez scurrying back to first base. Two down now, and here comes Mr. Galletti. And he was walked there in that second inning and then was out at second base on a fielder's choice. He singled in the third inning. No, I'm looking at the wrong person here. Galletti grounded out in the first inning and walked in the second. Now he's up here looking for his first hit of the game with a runner at first and 2 down. He takes a strike. It's 0-1. Valdez running on that pitch to Gwynn that he popped out to the left side, and he was able to get back to first base without any trouble, but that's where he stands now with an 0-1 count on Galletti. There he goes. The pitch to Galletti is swung, and he hits this one deep to right field. Back goes Williams. He's trying to get it. He won't. It's going to hit up against the wall. Valdez is around third, and he's going to come in to score. Galletti has a stand-up double, and it's 6-0 Pittsburgh.
Boy, Vinny patented swing, strokes that one into right field, and you could see right away that it was going to be trouble. Stayed fair by plenty, and the Diamonds on the board again.
With Valdez running, there was no problem for him to score on that ball. Hit up against the wall in right field, and Scaletti with a stand-up double now and another RBI for him.
And the error comes back to bite the Admirals as they give up the 6th run of the game.
Standing in here now, Wes Wallace, who really hit that ball to strike as he swings and misses. Really hit a ball out of here that was foul last time he was up. I did think it was going to hit that home. I think that's a big home. That must be some office building or something over the left field fence with an air window. He would have to. That'd be a monster hit to hit that window, but there's something to aim for. 0-1 count to Wallace now. Galletti on at second. The pitch to West is swung on a miss. Strike 2.
So Dinelli should have been out of this inning, so that last run will officially be unearned.
Eli Garcia is warming up still out in left field for the Admirals. He has been up and down and up, and he should be warmed up. Here's a pitch to Wallace, is swung on and missed for strike 3. So that'll do it for this inning, but the Diamonds get an unearned run on an error and then a double against the right field wall by Vinny Galletti. And so we go into the bottom of the 4th. The score, Pittsburgh 6 and Vallejo nothing. Welcome back to the bottom of the 4th inning here, where the Diamonds got an extra run in the top of the 4th to give Mike Gunn a little extra cushion. He's got a 6-0 lead here as he faces Mike Blank. Now Blank has gone to the same batting helmet bin as Fernacci did, and he's got one of them light blue helmets, so Chris is not feeling all alone. He'll be followed by Nick Akins and then Ryan Rodriguez. A walk to Blank in that first inning. So his second time to face Mike Gunn. Gunn has 3 strikeouts. Led the league in strikeouts for much of the first half of the season. This pitch is high for a ball, and it's 1-0. Then, as we've said, sidelined by that blister, and now he's worked his way through some relief appearances and back on the mound to start this game. And he's pitch to Blank is bound to the left side. Another high chopper. Third baseman Bautista steps in front to make the play. Out number 1.
Fielder number 13, Nick Akins.
Blank grounds out to Bautista for out number 1. Nick Akins steps in here. He would have called out on strikes in the first inning. No one usually the batter does not agree with the call as they go back to the dugout muttering after being called out on strikes. And Akins would have fit that mold after that call in the first inning. Now he steps up here with nobody on and 1 out. It's 6-0 Pittsburgh, and the pitch from Gunn is swung on and fouled at the plate. It's 0-1. The Diamonds play Sonoma this weekend. They come home next Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday to play these same Vallejo Admirals. Their last homestand, the only homestand left in the month of July. If you want to get tickets, come out and join us at Winter Chevrolet Stadium. The place to go is diamondsproball.com. The whole schedule, and of course, tickets are available right there. $7. The pitch from Aikens, the ground to the right side. Valdez behind second base. He has trouble getting out of his glove and throws and got him. It took a little extra time to get that ball out of his glove, but Valdez made the throw in time, and it's 2 down here in the 4th inning. Ryan Rodriguez, the focus of controversy here in the game, as the Diamonds claimed that he was listed as a DH in the starting lineup and came out to play first base in that first inning. Aaron Miles going out and talking to the ump. Then Phillips, the manager of the Admirals, came out and talked, and the ump went and talked to them in between innings. He did with the Admirals, and then apparently Miles lost the discussion because nothing happened. The pitch was a strike at 0-1. What he wanted to have happen was the game to be cleared, their lineup to be cleared. The designated hitter had been used and tossed out, and so they would now have to play a National League-style game with the pitcher spot coming up to hit. This pitcher, Rodriguez, is a foot short of the plate and bounces up to McKeon for a ball. It's 1-1. That would have required, of course, the designated hitter means none of these pitchers ever hit, except unless the Diamonds are playing the Sonoma Stompers last week in that game. I think 4 or 5 pitchers got a chance to hit. That would have been a big advantage, but the Diamonds did not win the argument from all indications. We don't get an official judgment. The pitch is a strike, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes to Gunn, and that was a hard fastball. And Rodriguez did not find it. There are 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th inning. It is 6-0 in favor of the Diamonds, and the pitch from Gunn is a check swing and a ball, and it's going to be 2-2. Or maybe it's 1-2. Gunn looks back at the scoreboard to make sure of the count, and he says, and then now it moves to 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2 outs. Right-handed batter against a left-handed Gunn. Swung on and fouled at the plate, and it's going to be still 2-2.
So a nice game through 3 2/3 as we look at some of the crowded attendance here. It's 3 2/3, no runs for Mike Gunn, so very impressive for him out of the gate.
Trying to throw strikes, get through the lineup, and enjoy a 6-0 cushion. This pitch is grounded right at Garcia. It takes a big hop right into his glove, and he throws him out. 1, 2, 3. That's how the Admirals go here in the bottom of the 4th. We're going to the top of the 5th inning, and the score 6-0 Pittsburgh. Blank ground out to Valdez. Get ready for an exciting top of the 5th inning, and I say that because The Admirals catcher on the first, when they have the warm-ups and they throw the ball to second, he threw that ball into the right center field.
The throw down went throw wide.
That was a way. People had to race to recover that ball, so they'll all get back to their positions now. And J. Q. Calderon will step in here. He got hit by a pitch back in the second inning. No, he walked, I believe. Anyway, I know.
Yeah, that's what I have.
Yeah,
he walked to lead off that
He
inning.
walked. He was not the first person to get hit by that. Walk, an error, a hit by pitch, 2 hit by pitches in a row. That was what led off the Diamonds' second inning that led to 4 runs. They already had a run in from the first inning, and they got an insurance run in the fourth. It is 6-0 in favor of Pittsburgh. Calderon up here. The first pitch is a ball. The 1-0 pitch from Donnelly hits the plate, and it's 2-0.
Things going according to plan here. The Diamonds have gotten a good start so far from Mike Gunn. Vinny Galletti's got a couple of RBIs. Taking advantage of some of those free passes they've been given.
Big swing and a miss by Calderon, and it's 2-1.
And that's the way it's supposed to happen.
Yeah. When you're sitting down there an hour before the game and you draw it up, that's what you're saying. I think 6-0 by the fifth inning. I think that'll. There is a shift on by the Admirals on the infield for Calderon. They've got the shortstop behind second base. This pitch is swung and a miss, and it's 2-2. Third baseman halfway between second and third. And the outfield, not so much or at all. They're playing pretty much straight away, shallow in left field, deeper in center and right.
It does look to me that Aiken's given a lot of room over there on the off the line and left field.
Pitch is outside for ball 3, and it's a full count now to Calderon, leading off here in the top of the 5th. Calderon, not your classic leadoff hitter, but he has now, this is the 3rd inning he's let off today.
You just never know how that's going to go.
Pitch is fouled away, and it's still 3-2. It hit something noisy over there.
But depending how high you are in the order, I forgot what the equation is, but for every spot up in the order that you are over the course of a season, that means that many more at bats.
Yes, no doubt about that. And you never know. Calderon here is hitting 6th, and how many times are you supposed to lead off an inning? Well, apparently 3 for him today. He swings and misses on that. That's strike 3, so he will sit down. And coming up will be Javier Marty Carrena.